Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. So, human beings, like lions, are meant to be part of a pride. We're not meant to be individuals. Let's see how that works. So in this week's Torah portion, when Moses talks about conquering, beginning to conquer what would later become a part of Israel, he speaks of cities, but he uses two different Hebrew words. Ir, which is a city, but also Kiryah, which also means a city. And so too we find by the laws of the city of absorption, which protects one who completely unintentionally was the cause of someone else's death. It says there also both terminologies. And it says that you shall make a Kiryah of the city. What does that mean? The definition of a Kiryah is that it's not just a city in which people happen to be living in proximity to each other. Rather, the definition of Kiryah is that the city makes that all those people become one community in the way they live with each other, care for each other, are part of each other. We become a quote-unquote pride. Now, what does that mean? And why does that protect the person who unintentionally was the cause of someone else's death? And why is that such a big issue in the Jews conquering both the Ir and the Kiryah of the mighty Sichon? And the explanation is as follows. Being that we are meant to be creatures of a pride, of a community, the power of protection over each other is precisely that we are part of an entirety. And that entirety is greater than the sum total of the individuals. When someone, unintentionally as it may be, causes the death of another, he has removed himself, so to speak, from being part of the pride, part of the oneness of this community. And thus there is the Goel Hadam, the angel of death, the prosecutor, who is trying to avenge. And by him going into the city of absorption, what then happens is that process of his leaving his home and moving into this city is where he is once again becoming part of the pride. Now let's look at what Moses was saying about Sichon. Our sages tell us that God says that even when Gentiles who behave ill, who behave in a bad fashion, but they're united as one, the words our sages say is that God says, I, per se, cannot touch them. Thus, what the verse is telling us, Moses is saying that there seems to be a problem here. How would we be able to conquer the people who are protected by their unity of being one pride rather than a bunch of individual hunters? And that is a question, okay? So if God says that he cannot per se touch them even for their evil behavior against humanity, how did we conquer them? And the answer is that what Moses is really telling us is that when a Jew stands in a level of unity with one another, it's on a total different level than any other group of humans being united. Other humans are united by the external fact that they are creations of God, while the Jewish people are united by the fact that we are, within us is that truly a piece of God, which makes us truly one being made up of many organs. And thus our internal unity can even overcome the external unity of others. Now, when I learned this talk, I obviously immediately reflected upon what is going on today in the world. We are finding an external unity which is made up of anti-Semitism. You hate the Jews, you hate Israel, I hate the Jews, I hate Israel. Let's march together and be unified. But what they seem to not understand is the unity of the Jewish people is not because we share some behavior or some feeling in common. When you find the secular Jew, the right-wing Jew, the religious Jew, the non-religious Jew, when you find us uniting as one, yes, sometimes it's done because our enemies attack us, but the unity you find there is not because we share a common way of life, but rather because we share a common genetics of who we are. We are Jewish people. We are a people. We are a nation. We are a religion. We're all of the above. Thus, our unity will always overcome any external unity of anti-Semitism against us. Shabbat Shalom.